My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now.
Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money, coming to you from San Francisco. Welcome to Cramerica. Oh, do you know my friends? I'm just trying to make you a little money. My job is not just to entertain, but to educate and teach you. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. What a relief to cover science and computing. Only for a few days. I mean, that's right. On a day when the Dow gained 359 points, S&P advanced 0.16%, and the Nasdaq lost 0.38%. We came to San Francisco for the JPMorgan Healthcare Conference to see the future of medicine. I got to tell you, I liked what I saw. At the same time, I sure didn't like what I saw when I watched the Joe Rogan Experience this weekend, when a very unfettered Mark Zuckerberg, the founder and CEO of Meta Platforms, took some shots. I would say cheap shots. I mean, just terrible at Apple that made me want to throw a yellow flag 15 yards on sportsmanlike conduct. Worse, the U.S. government chose to meddle in the semiconductor world in a way that defeats so much of what Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia, is trying to accomplish. A series of restrictions came out this weekend that put limits on the number of GPUs Nvidia can sell to all but 18 friendly nations. I mean, look, we all get the game. We're trying to stop China from getting as many advanced chips as possible. I admit that. That's okay. But this 200-page set of rules has become the hallmark of the Biden administration's attempt to treat our businesses as the enemy. Nvidia is cooperating with the federal government every step of the way. Jensen Huang is spending a huge amount of time going around the globe, though, trying to work with all of the friendly governments, not just 18, to help them create sovereign AI. He knows that America could control everything. That's how powerful we are. But he wants to empower other nations so they don't get subsumed by us. He doesn't want to be the ugly American who dictates the things the way we did during the Cold War. It's one of the best initiatives he's worked on, and now the government's effectively ended it by fiat. Look, you know that I'm no fan of the Chinese government, but the U.S. needs friends. Huang is the ultimate ambassador of goodwill. This move is embarrassing, short-sighted, demeaning, and ultimately a fitting coda to an administration that seems to have it in for business at every turn, unless it's clean energy, of course. Of course, the government's no friend of the execs I'm meeting out here either. I'm sitting down with some of the best healthcare CEOs in the world. Today, BristolMyers, Boston Scientific, Medtronic, companies that's spending billions of dollars on research and development to tackle the hardest brain, heart, bone, and blood-based diseases. Yet they had a bullseye on their backs, too, with the Biden administration targeting some of the biggest drugs as part of the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. I know lots of people believe that the drug companies prey on our nation, and look, no industry's perfect. But when I talk to these execs, they're doing their best to tackle major unmet medical needs, fatal needs. When I sat in front of Chris Byrne, the CEO of Bristol-Myers, and listened to what his company's doing for schizophrenics, I wonder why the government is cramming down the price of Eliquis, the medicine designed to prevent strokes. As Bristol said in a release about the new rule, quote, the imposed Eliquis maximum fair price does not reflect the substantial clinical and economic value of this essential medicine, which is widely regarded for its effectiveness in reducing stroke, related events, hospitalizations, and extended rehabilitation needs, end quote. Bristol notes that this leading coagulant is, quote, relied upon by millions of Americans daily and is the most prescribed medicine on the IRA list, not the most expensive, end quote. Like with tech, the CEOs of the drug companies here were persona non grata at the White House for the last 4 years. But if you don't give Bristol-Myers a return, how the heck can it spend $14 billion to buy a company with a drug that might or might not work in diseases of the brain? The brain's really hard to crack. I worried that Bristol-Myers was making a big mistake when it bought Karuna Therapeutics, even as I cheered the attempt to go after the intractable. You can't go after the intractable without the profits from Eliquis. And believe me when I say it's not the cost of Eliquis that's the problem in this system. It's pretty much everyone else that takes money but offers nothing of real value. I say that as someone who actually is trying to develop a drug. Even as I try to get things going, the cost of a clinical trial is astronomical. Most drugs fail. It's not enough that all these tech and drug companies are targets of the Biden administration. They can become targets of each other. Which brings me to Mark Zuckerberg's interview with Joe Rogan, where Zuckerberg trotted out some old canards about how Apple's developed nothing serious since Steve Jobs died, arguing that it stifles innovation, puts a tax on developers who sell in the App Store. Look, I like both companies very much. I think they do fabulous work, but it's a cheap shot to say Apple's done nothing since Jobs. Its products are loved by companies. It's got the highest customer satisfaction rates of any large-scale brand. Billions of people use them. As someone who has loved Apple and its accoutrements, I find these comments self-serving and one-sided. To put it simply, Zuckerberg said the things I heard nonstop from the Justice Department's antitrust division these last 4 years. Sure, Apple does some things that make it hard for people to leave their ecosystem. If Apple were to ease up its grip on the App Store, then Meta could make much more money and users might be happier. There's some truth there. But Apple's not stopping anyone else from developing a better system. At the end of the day, they invented the App Store. They can do what they want with it. Now, every company has its problems, and there are things Apple does that we don't like, that I don't like. There are things Meta does that we don't like, that I don't like. I was just surprised to hear such a public thrashing. If I were Mark Zuckerberg, I would not be helping the Justice Department go after big tech. Bad precedent for Meta. These Silicon Valley guys, they got no sense of omerta. Zuckerberg blasted the TV media for not understanding things and using sound bites to make him look bad. As someone who spent years defending this guy on air, I was surprised he went there. In the end, he made it real easy for the Justice Department by trashing Apple. And maybe that was what he wanted to do. We are in some weird moment where the two best industries we have are in the crosshairs of the federal government, with Mark Zuckerberg aiding and abetting the prosecution. The drug companies managed to rally today because we heard their side of the story. But tech, the tag team of the government and Meta may have been too much for everyone. At the end of the day, though, buyers finally came in to find bargains in the semis and software, and the drug stocks, only the drug stocks, finished in the green. The bottom line, are the charges against these two industries just glancing blows? Nah, this was just one day where the bond market didn't crush every stock. Only the government, and yes, Meta, did that job. Let's go to Arthur in Pennsylvania. Arthur. Arthur.
Hey, Jimmy Chill. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Chief. What's happening?
So I've been holding on to these shares since October. Very bullish intent. Since buying, it's been red, nothing but red, and more recently, more red. What's your take on AMD? Buy, hold, sell? What should I do?
Right now, AMD is doing okay. It's having trouble catching up to Nvidia. Frankly, I've got to tell you, it didn't get a big Amazon contract. It spent a lot of money on a couple of things. Don't seem to be working. Right now, I think it's just a hold. I wish I could say it's a buy, but I just don't feel I can go there. Let's go to Rich in Texas. Rich.
Hey, Jim. How you doing today?
I am doing well. How about you?
All right. Hey, last year I was on your show several times talking about the undervalued United Airlines with solid fundamentals, and went from $38 to $105. Maybe you remember me.
You got horse sense.
This year I'm bringing you Builder's First Source.
No, you're not, because we talked about it today. You are absolutely right. This guy, I need a co-host, man. I'm tired. Rich is now my co-host. I'm just making. He did United, now he's doing Builder First. What can you ask? And he's from Texas. Can't beat that either. All right, maybe the tag team of Meta and the U.S. government is what hurt tech stocks today, or maybe it's just one day the bond market didn't crush stocks. At least buyers are finding bargains where they can. Oh, Mad Money tonight. I'm kicking off my time in San Francisco by checking up on a trio of healthcare players. First up, BristolMyers has been on the run since its July lows. I'm learning more about its pipeline schizophrenia drug with the CEO. Then Boston Scientific had what a stock's been great, but can it keep going higher? I'm getting a read of the road ahead with its top brass. And later, medical device company Medtronic announced a new innovation to Parkinson's treatment today, intractable disease. I'm checking in with the CEO, so stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.